Hello folks, how are you going? Another edition of Kev's Workshop. There's the New South Wales D57 class. The one preserved is 5711. Have a nice fleet of about 12, I think it was, 24 of these locos. They did hold a nice load and they were one of the most biggest, most powerful locomotives of the New South Wales system. We'll look across over to here. Look at these. Even though they're not the best printouts, it shows you how mighty these machines were, from the person who designed it through to the engineers that built it and the drivers that drove them. They were a monster of an engine, big 482 mountains. And these photos come courtesy of a couple of people on Flickr. So for the people who took these photos, I thank them. I'm just dropping pieces of paper over here. And this is one of the many pages for the DJH kit. Very intricate. As you can see, there's a myriad of parts. All these parts, including the assembly of the Northwest Shortline gearbox, and all the assembly that is required to give this thing the detail that it is required. See here the casting drawing. You know, there's that many little parts, and you look at it and think, bloody hell, what a task. And yep, it is highly detailed. And here we are, just about at the end of May 2020, time of doing this video. And here she is up on the rolling road. The rolling road, this particular one, is made by Bachman. Some people pronounce it Batchman or Bachman. But you can see here, machine and motor hooked up to the Northwest Shortline gearbox. And you may notice at this particular point, I already painted part of the chassis in black. That is so I can get behind the wheels. In here is to be the brake mechanism. Got to be hooked up to these brake cylinders. And you see the internal guide for the third cylinder. That is not necessarily the easiest part to get in, but as you can see, in full size this was, or would have been, a 3-cylindered loco. In a previous YouTube video that I've done, you can see the front of it. Well now, if we look at it this way, you can see the amount of detail that has now come in on the front. And the little pivot pins is a bit of 0.3 or 0.4 mil diameter brass wire. If you think this is a challenge, back in 1998, around that area, I'd done the exact same locomotive in N.S.W.G.R. And I've got this locomotive also previously featured on YouTube. And just like with the HO scale, all of this is fully functioning, fully works. So I want to give you a bit of a demonstration at the moment of these two versions of 5711. Because I've already got the power hooked up, ready to go, there is a tight spot in the mechanism, which I'm still trying to sort out at this particular point. So, a bit of power given to the motor. I intend adding in the flywheel later on. There is no flywheel here at the moment. You can perhaps hear the tight spot. You might be able to visually see the tight spot. Now when she's running along down the track, you'll not get to see all this. So I want to bring you in close. There are other videos up here on YouTube. I'll actually show these locos running. But you've got to remember, in this model, the wheels are 90 degrees to each other. That is, right leads left by 90 degrees. So the timing on this compensating beam isn't quite correct. But it simulates that of the 3-cylinder loco. Now this is the toughest part of the build. You can see it's sort of hitting back here, because the short compensating link, which is this one here, when I drilled through the centre, the middle part got slightly buggered up a bit. So you can hear it tapping. But at least at this particular point, you can see how well it runs at low speed. When I take the tight spot out of the mechanism, or it'll be more than likely the right hand side over the back here. I'll see if I can come down to it. Down in amongst here, there's a tight spot from the right hand valve. But between that and this link here, which you can see hitting, by the time I sort those two issues out, I should get rid of the tight spot. It should start running beautifully. Now this is on the driver's side of the locomotive. I'll come down here a bit for you. Yeah, you might be able to see it kicking slightly. But at this point here you can actually see the tight spot a lot freer. It's around the 12 o'clock position on the driving wheels. Don't worry, I'm hoping to have all this sorted out very soon. These can be a difficult locomotive to build. Some parts are harder to identify than others. But with the gearbox, I'm trying to remember now what the ratio is on that. So we can quickly find it while we focus the camera elsewhere. There's at the model. The information's on the gearbox itself, well, on the packaging. Sorry about that, folks. I'm all over the shop here. 28:1 is the ratio. Now to go onto this, quite a fair few more parts. Then I can start this next part. The smoke box and boiler. Well, this will eventually sit onto there properly. But this starts to bring in a whole new perspective of things. It's a bit more pronounced now. See the tight spot. But I'll come around the back here for you. There isn't very little room to fit inside, so very little room for error. I'll be happier once I get this tight spot taken out of it. The camera's finding it hard to focus in. You can see where the front of the drive shaft comes out the gearbox. Up in here. That's causing a bit of an issue, but that's another part I have to sort out. So if I pull this up to a stop, yeah, it's right at its tight spot. The white metal body is actual weight. that gives it the tractive effort that it has. I've seen these been built before and they look bloody nice, rather awesome. So, by comparison with my N.S.W.G.R one, you can see here I've used real locomotive coal in the tender. Finally crushed down a bit. So what I'm going to do in the HO scale version is the exact same sort of thing. When I built this years ago, back in '98 area, it was something that I've always wanted to do. This being built off a Bachmann 484 in the N.S.W.G.R, it was the closest thing I could get available to what I needed. However, the length between the rear driving wheel and the trailing truck is a little bit longer than it needed to be. So overall the loco is a few scale feet longer than it should be. I was told keep the tender in proportion with the loco, make the tender slightly over length. So yes, the whole locomotive is possibly somewhere between 5 and 10 scale feet over length. But as an N.S.W.G.R D57, that is how that D.JH version will eventually look. Or hopefully better than the N.S.W.G.R version. Plus, I still have a working headlight on the N.S.W.G.R model. And I intend doing that to the HO scale version. So, with a short break, change of camera position, I'm going to hook up the N.S.W.G.R one for you. Okay, while I'm holding the loco, you can see I've got a little light globe in here. That's to simulate an open firebox door. A bit hard for the light to be clearly seen. There we go. And that light's wired directly to the motor. So the fluctuations in the motor electricals will give that, I suppose, a flickering mode. And because this is the 1970s, 1980s era mechanism, the open frame motor, reduction gearbox, it drives the last two axles and plastic rods through to the front. I've modified mine by putting metal rod as the valve cylinder link. I put it right the way through to the front here. And because this was a 484, I've actually modified the trailing truck to be a single axle rather than dual axle. Now I'm only redoing this video on the N.S.W.G.R D57 because I'm still working on this one. So that is my N.S.W.G.R D57. The first time I ever done weathering using watercolour pencils. I've just noticed something, my steam generator's gone missing. However, there's no drama, I'll make another one. So bear with me and I'll get this thing running. It's a different camera position. I'm trying to hold this with one hand and camera with the other hand. I'm going to try to get it in close here. Get the light into it for you. There we go. A little bit unsteady at the moment. This has taken a bit of damage. The shutter step's been broken off. A few other details have been broken off. But generally, this is the N.S.W.G.R D57. You imagine seeing this hauling a load in N scale, a couple of dozen wagons, especially when the wheels are clean and the pickups are clean. She runs beautiful. This is perhaps the first time in about 6, maybe 12 months since I last ran it. So trying to paste this along a bit of line, hand holding the loco like this, and now we'll get to see what's happening. Notice the camera doesn't particularly like the focus, but show you in the cab. There you go, open firebox door, and my usual treat. So this, folks, is what I'm working towards, an HO. Part of my collection is to have a twins collection, which means whatever I've got in HO, I'll hopefully have an N. What I've got an N, I'll hopefully have in HO. So, a dual scale collection. This will give you an idea of some of the work that is ahead of me with the HO scale version. So, yep, hopefully with this, it will enlighten some of you and say, hey, look, it has been done in N. Well, I did it back in 1998 anyhow, but this is the first time one of these logos had been done in N scale. So, at least for that, 5711 in real life is preserved at the Valley Heights Railway Depot, which is part of the New South Wales Rail Transport Museum collection. Bear with me a minute. Okay, we are back on some HO scale track with an N.S.W.G.R loco, but at least now you've had a bit of a demo on how I've done this. Plus you've managed to see the firebox light lit up, and in this shot you can see the locomotive coal that I use. If you're coming to do this sort of thing, whether you're scratch building, kit bashing, or maybe kit building, if you use some real locomotive coal, you need to crush it down to the approximate scale that you need. What I've done for this, I've actually got a chunk of styrene foam underneath, picked all the top away until I had the rough shape, thickly painted it in black paint, and then I just pressed it into the pile of coal that was all crushed up, and it pulled out what it wanted. Bit of a tap on the underside, everything fell back down that wasn't stuck, and that's what I was left with. Very effective method of putting coal in your locomotives and all carriages. Thankfully my ladder's still here on the back. The rear buffers are gone, but I've got a spare set. There are a few other minor details which are missing at the moment, but because it hardly ever gets to see daylight, well, it doesn't bother me greatly. But it's the N.S.W.G.R D57, and hopefully in a few months I'll have this one complete. So what I shall do for you, I'll reconnect up my wires to the HO scale model. And I'll just kick it back into life for a moment. Yeah, flat out. Bit unrealistic. More scale speed. Those of you out there building kits or scratch building or modifying something to suit, I hope this will be an inspiration to you. I've got all the brake rigging to finish off yet. The brake shoes are currently missing off the back down here. They've got to be put back on again soon. And these wheels are the Romford wheels, RP25, National Model Rail standards. This is a very challenging kit to put together. So if you're not really into building kits, but you know somebody who is, get them to give you a helping hand. You could quite easily go wrong, especially this particular kit. Well, I have built several DJH kits over the years, and by far this has been my toughest. Mainly for the fact everything up the front here is so fiddly, so intricate, and so tiny. You wouldn't believe I found it easier to do the N.S.W.G.R one. Okay, I'll leave this with you now. Hope I've been of some inspiration to you, and I hope I've helped you out somewhere in your modelling. Thanks very much and enjoy.